Hi everybody, I am here with another interesting topic, trigonometry. Trigonometry is one of the very important lessons in mathematics where you get all types of questions. Trigonometry plays a major part in IGCSE examination. So today we are going to look at a very small part in trigonometry, which is how to apply sine, cos and tan and find the length of a side. Before we start with sine, cos and tan, that is sine, cosine and tangent, we first have to understand that sine, cos and tan we apply for right angle triangles at the beginning. This is the basic. So what is a right angle triangle? Right angle triangle is a triangle which one of those angles will be 90 degrees. So you all know that the sum of three interior angles, a triangle has three angles which sum of three interior angles add up to 180 degrees. So one of these angles will be 90 and other two angles will add up to 90, which is 180. So in this 90 degree angle, the opposite side of that angle is called the hypotenuse. This side is called the hypotenuse. So in a triangle there are three sides. Comparing the three sides, the hypotenuse is the longest side of a right angle triangle. So we need to remember these things first before we start with the trigonometry. So telling you again, this is ABC triangle. This triangle is ABC and the ABC angle is 90 degrees, where you can show it as this 90 degree angle. Okay, and the opposite side here is hypotenuse. So this is the basics that you should know before we go ahead. Alright, now we know about a 90 degree angle, and we know that the opposite side of the right angle of a triangle is called the hypotenuse, and hypotenuse is the longest side of the right angle triangle. Alright, now we should know about the other two sides as well. Let us see what we call the other two sides. Alright, so now this, you can see there are two right angle triangles here. We will mark this as number 1 and this as number 2. So looking at the first right angle triangle, you will see that this is the angle, 90 degree angle, right angle that we are talking about. And now we are going to focus on this angle. We are going to work on this angle. In triangle number 1, we are going to focus on this angle here. If we are going to apply trigonometry into this angle, so you know the side facing the right angle is called the hypotenuse, and the side which is facing the angle that we are going to work with is called the opposite side, which is called the opposite side. And the other side is called the adjacent. In the adjacent side, the right angle and the angle that we are going to work with lies on the adjacent. So that is how you identify hypotenuse, opposite side and the adjacent. Okay, now let us look at the second right angle triangle. So this is the 90 degree right angle, and the opposite side which is facing the right angle is called the hypotenuse, and here I have highlighted this angle. So if we are going to work with this angle, the side which is facing that angle is called the opposite, and the other side which the angle and the 90 degree is lying on is called the adjacent side. So this is how this, before we go ahead with the go forward with the trigonometry, it is very important that we understand the sides and their names. Okay, let us do a small example, like an activity to understand the hypotenuse, opposite and the adjacent. So first of all, there are 4 right angle triangles here. I'm going to mark the right angles in this. So this is the right angle here, and this is the right angle in this triangle, and this is the right angle here, and this is the right angle here. So now I'm going to mark the hypotenuse with capital H. So the side which is facing the right angle is called the hypotenuse, and in this triangle this will be the hypotenuse, and here this is the hypotenuse, and here this will be the hypotenuse. So now I am going to mark some angles which we are going to work with. Alright, here we are going to work with this angle, and then this here and here and here. Alright, so now let us see which is the opposite and which is the adjacent. So if we are working with this angle here, the angle opposite to that is called, the side opposite to that is called the opposite side. And here this is opposite, and here this is opposite, and here this will be opposite. Okay, and now it is easy for us to know which is the adjacent. Okay, so the adjacent, the side which the right angle and the angle that we are working with, which that side lies, is called the adjacent. So I'm going to mark this as adjacent. This will be adjacent, and this will be adjacent, and this will be adjacent here. So after doing this exercise, I'm pretty sure that you will have a thorough knowledge on how to choose the sides, the names of the sides, before we work on trigonometry. Alright, now let me introduce you to sine, cosine and tangent. Now these words must be new to you, but you don't have to worry. When you know how to work with these words are just going to be other words for you all, just like that. So when we are going to use these, we are not going to use the full term. We are going to say sine, cos and tan. That is how we are going to write them. Okay, here we have a right angle triangle, which is, this is the 90 degree, and opposite that the side which is facing the 90 degree is hypotenuse. We are going to work with this angle here, so this is called the opposite and the other side is called the adjacent. So after knowing what are the sides, understanding the sides, now how are we going to apply sine, cosine and tangent? So in the next few slides I will explain further on how we are going to apply these things, but for now remember these functions. That is sine x. If we apply sine x for this angle here, it is opposite over hypotenuse, and cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tan x is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. You see, everything is based on this angle which we are going to work with. Okay. So now these things, these functions, these formulas, if it is hard for you all to remember, I'm going to teach you a easy way, which is something which is rhyming. So I'm going to name it as SOHCAHTOA. It's interesting, isn't it? So SOHCAHTOA, it's like, you can just sing a song like SOHCAHTOA, things like that. So SOHCAHTOA, let me show you how it works. So sine is S here, and opposite is this O and hypotenuse. So you know that sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, and here this is cos, adjacent and hypotenuse, and here tan, opposite and adjacent. So if you want to remember these things, these formulas, you can remember these, something like a song, SOHCAHTOA, for you to remember these functions. Alright, let's discuss the first example. Now looking at this triangle here, we are going to find x, which is this. We don't know the side. So first of all we need to, so we are going to solve this example using 3 steps only. The first step is label the sides of the triangle, hypotenuse, opposite and adjacent. So let me first name those. So this is the right angle. Here it is, this will be H, hypotenuse, and we are going to work with this angle here, and this will be opposite, and this is going to be adjacent. So we know the sides now. Step 1 done. Step 2, understand the function involved to solve the question given. So now we need to find x. We need to find x and the adjacent is given. So we have adjacent, we have to find opposite, and we have the angle here. We have nothing to do with hypotenuse here. We don't know the value of hypotenuse, and we don't have to find the value of hypotenuse as well. So we are going to work with adjacent and opposite. So remember, what is the function involved opposite and adjacent? So that is TOA, opposite and adjacent. There you are. So we are going to use tan. Okay, so we are going to apply. Now step 2 is done. We know that we are going to use tan here. Now we are going to apply the formula into this right angle triangle, which is tan 25.4 is equal to opposite over adjacent. Opposite is x here, opposite is x, and adjacent is 10. So now we are going to solve. Step 3, we are going to solve the equation, which is x, we make the subject of the equation x here. So tan 10 comes this side, which is 10 times tan 25.4 is equal to 4.75 to 3 significant figures, that is x is equal to 4.75. So you can use the calculator and find the value of x. Alright, one more example. That is, again we are going to find the side marked Z. We are going to find Z here. So step 1, label HOA. This is H here facing the right angle. So H, this is the angle we are going to work with. So this will be O, and this is going to be A. Okay. So hypotenuse, opposite and adjacent. We have to find the hypotenuse. We know the value of O, so we have nothing to do with adjacent. We are going to work with hypotenuse and opposite. So now we need to now we have to choose the function that we are going to use. That is the function which involves opposite and hypotenuse. So we understand that it is SOH, which is opposite and hypotenuse. So we are going to use sine. Sine 31.3 is equal to opposite of hypotenuse. Opposite is 7.4, we already know, and we have to find the hypotenuse, which is Z. Alright, so we solve this, we cross multiply, and then we sine 31.1 comes here, and Z is equal to 14.2 centimeters for 3 significant figures. Okay. Alright, let's check on these exercises we have. Alright, question 1. Let's look at question 1. Step 1, we are marking H O A. So do we have anything to do with O? No, we have nothing to do with O. Here we are going to work with hypotenuse and adjacent, which is ka. So ka, see? So we are going to use A and H. So you use the cos and you find the answer. So cos 58 is equal to adjacent, which is C over hypotenuse, and you cross multiply and you find the answer. You will get 3.71 centimeters for 3 significant figures when you simplify this equation. And looking at this question 2, again, step 1, mark the sides. This is hypotenuse, this is opposite, and this is adjacent. So we have nothing to do with adjacent. We have to find A. We know the value of opposite, so we have nothing to do with adjacent. So we are going to work with opposite and hypotenuse, which is so. And we are going to work with sine. Alright, so sine 67.7 is equal to, opposite is 8 and adjacent is 8, and we cross multiply. So 8 divided by sine 67.7 is going to be, A is going to be 8.65 centimeters to the closest 3 significant figures. Okay? Alright, let's look at one more question, which is a word question. So in triangle ABC, B is equal to 90 degrees, C is equal to 40, and BC is equal to 4 centimeters. Find ABC. We have this triangle, so we know that B is equal to 90. We mark this as B. And we are going to name this triangle as ABC, and we know that C is equal to 40. We are going to mark this as 40 degrees, and BC is equal to 4 centimeters, and this is going to be 4 centimeters. And we have to find AB. We need to find this. Okay, so first we need to mark the sides, which this is the hypotenuse and this is adjacent and this is opposite. Okay, so we have to find the value of this opposite, this length of the opposite, and we know the size of adjacent. So we have nothing to do with hypotenuse. We are going to work with opposite and adjacent, which is TOR. So we are going to apply tan. So now we are going to apply tan. The angle is 40. Tan 40 is equal to opposite over adjacent. So we know that tan 40, opposite is, we have to find the opposite, and adjacent is 4. So to find the opposite, that is tan 40 multiply by, that is times 4. So in your calculator you can type tan 40 times 4, which you will find 3.36 centimeters for 3 significant figures. Alright children, I hope you enjoyed this session, and I hope it is useful and and it will be useful for you to understand the trigonometry, the basics of trigonometry. I hope to see you soon with another interesting lesson. See you. Bye-bye.